I wanted to learn how to speak with an English accent so bad. And listen, I am not perfect, okay, with it, but I do my best. But I had to audition for a movie. It was a big movie. And I had to speak with an English accent. And I went to go and audition for, and literally in the, I had like 3 days to learn how to speak with an English accent. And I had been trying to do it anyway so bad. I pray no one ever sees that tape. But I was like, I've got a baby in me tummy. And I'm like, I've got to, like, it was worse than that. You know, because I really couldn't get like and I was like, you know what, I'm going to get it. Like, I was so determined. You know,
good for you. Yeah. My husband says they all sound like a Mexican Russian, which is not really good. That's not a good combo.
So, you sound like a Mexican
Yeah,
Russian?
When I do my accents, they all just like converge to the mixture
Hilarious.
of the two. It's not good. But I do think, you know, I think there's something really beautiful about this, like, curiosity, you know, like you continue. Your bio is so fascinating. Like, we talked about 10-1 a little bit, which I hear is like one of the most awarded rums out there. I had no idea, by the way. And then you also have Third Brand, which is
3 Brand.
Uh-huh. And 3 Brand Children's Apparel Company. Is it public that you did $100 million in revenue in 2024? Can we say?
Yeah, you can.
That's wild.
Yeah, we've been very blessed.
Businesses.
Yeah, you know, I got to say it's been an incredible journey. I think, especially like you mentioned, doing everything together. Yeah. You know, talk about a why not you attitude, because we obviously have our why not you foundation, and big believers in, like, you know, once we believe in something or we set out to do something, most importantly, being connected, genuinely connected to what we do, right, is important. Like, you got to have that authenticity factor. And so 10-1 Rum, as I mentioned, was a genuine spirit for me that I, you know, love since day one. And I love the challenge of, you know, getting people to understand the beauty of rum. And with 3 Brand, you know, Russ is really his jam. You know, we talk about sports, music, and fashion, the three, you know, three of the most powerful forces, you know, in the world, and the power of what happens when they come together. Mm-hmm. And when you get to do it through youth, you know, the youth is really important to us. We really love being able to speak life into the youth with the why not you mentality. When it comes to fashion, you know, it's a fun place to play in and a fun place to activate in. We obviously have our kids, you know, family is really important to us. And we get to share, you know, our passion and pour our passion and love into the brand, to 3 Brand as a whole. And it's a gift, you know, when you say those numbers for just 2024 alone. We've been on this journey for like almost 3 years, so you can multiply that by 3, right? Which is a blessing. And so, you know, it's not ultimately about that. You know, it's really about the ability to impact. You know, that's our ultimate goal. We love being able to impact and inspire kids in such a great way. And there's nothing better than doing it through fashion. So it's been a fun journey. And it's the coolest thing, you know, when we're taking our kids to school and you see other kids wearing 3 Brand, it's like, hey, like Russ was like saying to her dad, it's like, hey, that's my brand, you know, and it's the cutest thing. It makes you feel proud. It makes you feel motivated. And, you know, we've got some exciting things happening for the brand, and it's really just getting started.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's fascinating about you is, like, you obviously your songs are huge and you've done all these brand deals, but it feels like from a business perspective, you're starting to talk about business even more now with the podcast that you have, or the show that you have.
Oh, Apple Radio, Level Up Radio on Apple Music.
There you go. And I think it's really cool because I don't even know that, you know, we've all known you. I remember when your first album came out, we've like known you publicly for a long time. But even when I was prepping for this, I was like, holy hell, she's done so much more than I realized. Like, what do you think is one of your, like, business superpowers? Like, why is 3 Brand $100 million? Like, what are the things you're like, we're so good at culture here, or we think about the design this way that nobody else does? Like, what is that for you, do you think, in some of these brands?
I think it goes back to quality. Quality is everything. You know, you can talk a good game all day, but it comes down to how well does the item perform. I think that we do really great at quality when it comes to our products and the things that we associate ourselves with. I think
that's to be hard, right? Because you're getting pitched a billion things a day.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, fortunately, the things that we've been doing, we've actually kind of started them, you know, and then there's like investment opportunities that you do. And that's like kind of gambling a little bit. You're taking a risk, and those, you know, it's great when it works. Yeah. But the cool thing is that a lot of the brands that we're focused on right now are ones that have come directly from us to some extent. 10 to 1, actually, my partner, Mark Farrell, I met him a year after he got going with 10 to 1. It was in the middle of the pandemic. And I was pregnant as all get out. And then I also breastfed for 10 months long enough. And it was time for me to celebrate that moment. And I had a mojito with the white rum, the 10 to 1 white rum. And again, I had already had my passion about rum, but I was really curious about this brand. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then I met my partner, and then, now we're 5 years in the journey, and I serve as an investor and a proud co-founder and co-owner. And but it goes back to quality and the people too. People are everything. And then I think culture is really key. When we think about like the challenges, or not even just the challenges, but like the fun parts of like 10 to 1, like the culture of people that we get to engage with. I get to work with some of the best chefs in the world. Like I was with Chef Kwame, and we're actually in all of his restaurants, 10 to 1 is. And, people like him, or, Tony, as I mentioned, Tony Chapman, and, all these talented people, we get to like engage with people culturally. There's that Afro-Caribbean energy that's really coming strong. And like, that's a big part of like our energy too, the Caribbean piece of it. So culture is everything. And then, the places that we get to go to on the ground and how we get to touch and activate with people. And then when it comes to 3 Brand in particular, again, it goes back to culture too, right? There's this sports energy. And as I mentioned, sports, music, and fashion, like those are all big pieces of Russ and I, right? So we get to we do this every day, right? And we get to bring it all together. And community is really important for us, right? So I feel like that's another aspect that we really, I would say, tap into really well and are very connected with, because we love the people.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about partnerships
Yeah.
in varying ways.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of people want your time and attention. So how do you determine, hey, I want to partner with this person.
Passion.
I want this person in my life. What's the screen?
Oh, the person, when it comes to people, you have to connect, I think it's important that your vision, your how you see things, how you connect to things, like it has to be aligned, right? And what's a person's vision, and can they add value, right? You want to be around people that can bring even more than you can at times, right? That you can grow with, you can learn from. I don't want to be the person with all the answers. I think if that's the case, then we're in trouble, right? Because I definitely don't know all the answers. I need help, So you want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals. You want to be around people that, share the same vision as you. And maybe it's people that have already been there before. Yeah. So they can pass down their wisdom. Like, that's my greatest goal right now at this point in my career, is I want to work smarter, not harder. And also being a mom and being there for Russ. I say I have my 4 babies, and Russ is my biggest one. Okay. You already know, okay?
I do.
Our men, they be babies. They be babying. But, so like that's a real thing, right?
Yep.
So it's like, how do I work smarter and not harder at this point in my life and in my career?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I made that mistake so many times early on in my career. I would partner with somebody who hadn't figured anything out yet.
Yeah.
And then I would work harder than them. Or they wouldn't, I'm sure with you, it's got to happen. They're like, I see her, I want to be associated with all that. Let me get on that coat train,
Yeah.
And at some point we just realized we're not going to partner with somebody who hasn't already shown, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, I think. So you got to show that you're winning. You got to show that you want to work harder than I do, because there's so many people that don't. And I think a lot of times with partnerships, we buy into them in the same way we buy into somebody's potential. And so we're like, no, I'll fix him.
Yeah.
How many of us have said that? And so I think that's really interesting. So have you, with a mark, if somebody's trying to figure out their avatar of all right, how do I trust somebody, which is so big today?
Yeah.
How are you here's what I ask them, here's what I do, or here's how I knew?
Yeah. I mean, trust, I think you build over time. I don't think I'll ever trust someone from day one.
Yes.
I think trust is earned. And I can smell very early if I should trust or not trust someone. I can tell you this. I can tell you on day one if I can't trust you.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I'm very good with that. I got a good gut. That's the gift that women have. Women have the gift of intuition that is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
a lot
a
of us
gift.
shove it down, right? You don't.
Sometimes you
listen to
do.
it?
No. Sometimes people can, but no. I think when you bumped your head a few times, you just know better, right? And then sometimes too, you do like to give grace. Like grace is important. But the moment you show me that I can't give you the grace or the grace pass should be revoked, I'm revoking it.
No second chances.
We ain't even playing with it.
It's actually smart. There's too many people. There's billions of people on this planet. They can go try with somebody else.
Yeah,
with
no,
love.
100.
Over there.
Exactly. You keep that over there. But no, I think back to your point, people, too, I think history is great. Like, for example, my partner, Mark, he was the youngest vice president at Starbucks, right? Before he started 10 to 1. And Howard Schultz was actually our first investor.
Oh, that's a great sign.
On the journey, right? And we have some amazing people at the party that are supporting us along the way. But I think, he also went to Harvard and like he had a great educational background, but also too just his experience within the space and also his education within the space. And, also, again, it came back to the product. The product says a lot. People can like talk a good game, but what's the product doing, right?
Yep.
So there's all these different things that you check off the box to make sure, your foundation is going to be a strong one and that you feel confident in the tools that you have to get going on things. And then time tells you everything, right? So yeah, I think the person that walks into the room is really important in anything that you do. Like, who are they as a human? First and foremost, right? Because you want to work with good humans, right? You really do. Because I think it makes it worthwhile when the times are tough and you have to come together and grind together. Like, it's not easy, right? Like grinding for 10 to 1, it's not easy. Because again, rum is a category that's like still telling a story, right? Tequila and vodkas and gins, they're already like,
that's a good point.
They've already like done it. Rum is still doing it, which is exciting because there's so much opportunity and there's not many of us ladies in this category.
Zero. Yeah, I don't know one.
Which is
I'm
exciting.
Sure there are some, but that is exciting.
So.
I love being a first.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what's interesting is like you have all of these practices now, it seems like, that you do every day. And these things that have led you to be the person that you are today. What are some of the things that if you knew the 20 that you know now, would you tell like, God, I wish 20-year-old Ciara would have done this every day?
Just be patient. That's the greatest thing is like, that's why I say run your race at your own pace. Because life has shown me like 21 years later, right? I am, I would say a little bit before 21 years later, after Goodies came out. But I remember, being signed in the systems and like, wanting to do certain things or achieve certain things. I'm like, when are they going to happen? Like, and I was very blessed. A lot of my songs were really big out the gate. But still, you could have that big hit record, but then you're like, and then what? And then if I'm missing this, I still feel like I'm missing this, this, and this. Yeah. But it's taken me 21 years to now start having certain things like happen for me how I've always wanted them to. So it just shows me like the power of patience. Like, there's this saying where they say like a parent would be like, patience is a virtue. They would say that when you're young, like, what is that? What does that even mean? Patience is a virtue. It's a patience. I bump the virtue stuff. Like, this is what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
But, when you understand life and the way that it goes, it's all going to work itself out. And you got to trust the process. Like, you've got to keep your faith, right? So, but if I could, think back to when I was younger, I would just say the patience factor, and I would also remind myself, don't glorify man. Don't glorify the things on this earth. Because people that I looked up to, like, I thought the coolest and the biggest ever, they've had their own journey. I don't want to speak negatively on anyone, but it's like, everything's not what you think it is, So like, just worry about you.
Yeah.
Worry about you,
You have had a bunch of like new albums come out, obviously. They're crushing. Level Up, does it ever happen to you where like you hear a song and you don't realize it's yours? Like Level Up, I didn't even realize was a Ciara song and I was like singing it. And then, but as you're creating today, what does that look like? Like if you want to tap into the muse, if you want to find it, if you want to get your creative juices, what do you do? Is there a process?
Well, it depends on what I'm doing. Musically, it's so funny. I'm actually like really in my Afro diaspora bag right now. And so I kind of like to life take me wherever it takes me when I'm making music. You know, the cool thing about music is that it's a feeling. It's nothing technical. So that's the place I'm playing in. Like I have my song Nice and Sweet with Molly and Oxley that I just put out.
Yeah.
Molly's from
dance.
Ghana. Yes. Hey, hit it.
I'm not dancing next to you.
That was good. Okay. Molly's from Ghana. Oxley's from Nigeria. And then my friend, also Diamond Platinum's on my song Low. He's from Tanzania. I just recently went to Benin, Cotonou, and I got to get my dual citizenship. I got my passport, the first international artist or American artist or any person to participate in this new program that they had that His Excellency President Talon granted me the opportunity to have there. And I'm just deeply connected to that place right now, this place right now, living in that moment, right? Yeah. And I think that when you're like committed to a creative direction, you start to delve deeper into things it's just fun to you, and it just naturally like takes you there. But I think I let life like kind of tell me where I want to go. And then there's also a sonic connection. You know, I can hear sounds or hear a song and be obsessed with, like, I do know where I want to go next right now in my mind. Right now I'm here, but I know what I want to do next. And it may take me a second to just chill and do it. Like, I'm not going to rush it, but I'm also not going to take forever either, you know? But I just go with like what feels, how I feel. Music is a feeling. It's not technical.
I love that. So you're kind of like following your curiosity down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Follow my curiosity, you know, going where the music takes me. Yeah, you just flow with it, you know. But you do, oftentimes when you go in to make music, you do have some kind of ideal direction, because that's what leads you to the producers you want to work with and the writers you want to work with. So you do typically have a creative base. Mm-hmm. But then there's this thing that when you start to create, then the magic really happens when you just let it happen, right? But you have some kind of like baseline foundation of where you want to start from.
Love that. A question for me and for nobody listening is like the abs. What are we doing?
First of all, let me tell you, you're so sweet, because my abs do not be abbing. Let me tell you why I say that, okay? Okay, listen. I say this because I've had my 4th precious baby, as we all know, and they gave me something called diastasis recti, okay? Some people say diastasis recti or whatever it is, but my ab wall is like kaputs. Wow. So my abs will never be the same, okay? Now, do I work hard to get down and like back to my base weight? I do. I have not gotten back down all the way after my last baby, Amora, and she's almost 2. But I'm giving myself some grace, okay?
You look so good.
I really appreciate that. You know, Russ, he's like, babe, now, whatever you're doing, don't get too crazy, because he likes a little hips to grip, okay?
I know, my husband too.
Yeah,
it's us
I don't
women.
mind
We're
it.
the hard part
No,
on us.
let me tell you something. I was looking at something. I said, that don't come from, because I've been praying for this all my life. Praying for that dog. The babies gave me something, you know. So I'm like, I'm going to hold on for as long as I can hold on, you know. But your babies do give you some hips. They give you a little bit more, you know, a little bit more than you want sometimes. You know, but I it's funny because I'm actually going to really like dive into trying to train my core even better. It's a thing. I'm literally holding on for dear life sometimes, because the diastasis makes your belly like push, like the instinct is for it to go out versus like in. Any mom or woman knows. Yeah. So you're like, it's an extra second for the carpet. So it's like,
oh yeah,
keep it together.
I always like that.
I
always like that Jamie Lee Curtis thing where she's like, I've been holding my abs in for 30 years. I'm done. She's like, no more. No, not 30 years. I'm out.
Listen, I be baggy, because I just be like, I ain't got time for this every day. Now, when I want to get snatched, then I get ready. Like I may eat like different. Like I'm doing a red carpet tomorrow, so today I'm kind of going no carbs. You know, like so I'll be strategic.